Hello, and welcome to Crucial Matters. Today we shall be talking about the proscription of the Islamic Movement of Nigeria. Should it be, or should the government take a pause on that decision? Join me as I discuss critically this issue with a guest I have in the studio, Mr. Jerry Paul. Mr. Jerry Paul, it's good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Mr. Jerry Paul, it's nice to have you.
Thank you very much.
Talking about the IMN, the Islamic Movement of Nigeria,
Yeah.
the courts have decided that the group should be proscribed. What's your thought?
I didn't see that prescription as a surprise. It didn't come to me as surprise. But I rather was not happy with it because from few years ago, another group was prescribed, IPOB.
Okay.
And these are like children of Nigerian government. I feel that prescription will not solve the agitation problem.
Okay.
Yes. So I was not surprised they were prescribed. But I do not think that prescription is the answer to the agitation.
All right. There are arguments about the Shiites movement. Some say that IMN is different from Shiites. Others are of the opinion that Shiites is just a group and different from IMN. Can you clarify these distinctions for us?
In Islam, I think there are two major sects under Islam.
Okay.
Muslims divided into two. They worship the same Allah, the same God, but they have two different movements: the Sunni and the
All
Shiites.
right.
I think there are more of Sunnis here in Nigeria. In Iran, particularly, they have about 95% of the Shiites. So, but the Islamic Movement of Nigeria is just a group under the Shiites.
Okay.
Just like we have Muslim right group, Murik, under Sunni. So the Islamic Movement of Nigeria, IMN, is a group, maybe a right group, maybe a pressure group under Shiites. So, but what the government is seeking to prescribe are the Islamic Movement of Nigeria, not the entire Shiites.
All right. Thank you for that clarification. But that brings me to one very important point. Do you think prescribing the Shiites or prescribing IMN is the way forward in this particular matter?
I do not
Or
think
what other method do you think is best?
I do not think that prescribing them will solve or have solved any problem. It's like you have children at home, children in your house, and they are agitating for one thing or the other. You simply order them as their father to shut up. You shut up, you shut up. You've not solved the problem. It is said that when you win the war, you have not won the peace. There is an agitation that they have been agitating. Have we listened to it? Remember that the protest and the agitation is part of their fundamental rights enshrined in the Constitution. They have the right to expression. So protest, when it is not violent, is a fundamental right, universal right. So I do not think that prescribing them have solved the problem. Now, what government have just done is to come at the peripheral, close them, close their mouths, but underneath, that problem is still there. And one day it will surely come up.
And the problem has been the continuous detention of their
Yes.
leader, El
Yes.
Zazaki.
What government is doing by this prescription is saying, shut up. That is exactly what I've done. Shut up. Don't say it
talk
again.
about it.
Yet government is supposed to be a father figure. So by prescribing them, government is saying, shut up. Don't speak again. Meanwhile, the matter for which they are protesting is unattended to.
Yes, but government will say that it's not just asking the IMN to shut up, but government is responding in this direction because of the violent dimension that the group has taken. I don't know if you get the point.
I got the point.
So if government is deciding that it's going to proscribe the group, don't you think the government is moving in the right direction?
I do not think so. Why I do not think so is this. If prescribing them will bring peace, There has not been peace. Of course, what we have already is what we call silent war. There has been silent wars.
Okay.
And the major problem we have in this country is not the Shiites or the IMN. They are not the major problem we have. So it is like taking issues at the peripheral. We need to calm down, calm down. After this, another matter will come. Other issues that will threaten security are still there. The headers are still there. They are threatening security. Government refusing to obey court order is a threat to security, to national security.
Okay.
So they are now they would want the IMN to obey this court order, but the government itself have not obeyed the several court orders relating to this same matter.
Yes. Government is government.
Government is government.
Yes.
But government is not faceless.
It is not.
It is not
It is
faceless.
not. And then let's talk about some other angle.
Okay.
Some human rights lawyers, particularly Femi Falana, is against this proscription and is asking the government to take a pause on gazetting on the proscription of IMN. What's your thought on that?
Not just Femi Falana, but every well-meaning Nigerian, whether lawyer or lay people in law, would stand for the truth. Proscribing this group is not a solution. IPOB was some years, maybe a couple of years ago, proscribed, but the agitation has not been solved. It remains there. And that is what builds up to revolution.
But some people will argue that since the proscription of IPOP, that the group has stepped down its activities.
But they are still there. You don't know what they are planning.
But it's like you've disarmed them and they can no longer. It's just like you have a dog that barks but cannot bite.
But we still hear about IPOB. Maybe what they have done is to go underground, and they may be planning something bigger. You understand?
And are you sure Nigeria have that intelligence to
We
be able
don't.
to? Okay.
We don't. We don't have intelligence. We don't have data. This
Okay.
country, we don't have intelligence. We don't have data. Who has been following IPOB since they were prescribed to know whether they are coming up? Intelligence should be following them. But if anything happens now, you discover that nobody has been following them. And the same with this. Government will just go now and sit down thinking that they have prescribed them, then they will no longer act. But believe me, I bet you that IMN will still be working and they will still be acting. And these people are people who have come to say they are ready to die, even their children, they are ready to die. So I bet you that this proscription or so-called proscription will not silence them. Maybe like IPOB. Because they are more violent, they are more determined, so to say, than the IPOB.
All right. Mr. Jerry, there is what we call para language.
Okay.
You may want to say body language. On the 5th of August, the government or the courts have set aside, do I say government now? On the 5th of August, the case will be determined on whether El Zazaki should be granted bail to go on medical treatment or not. Do you see that happening? Do you see that as a possibility?
In Nigeria, everything is possible. In this country,
With the situation on ground now, it's been difficult releasing El Zazaki, but the pressure is mounting. I listened to the human rights lawyer Femi Falana when he talked about the doctors who attend to him locally. That's talking about El Zazaki right now. He said not even one report has any of the doctor written saying that El Zazaki can be treated locally. That his condition right now determines him to be. His condition right now requires him to be flown abroad for treatment. But do you see government yielding to the call for him to be released?
from what happened last time, the protest that the IMN held last time in Abuja that was actually very bloody. The government may want to shift their body language this time. But if they do otherwise, I will not be surprised.
Okay.
Because this may be the 5th or the 6th time that a court of competent jurisdiction will give an order granting him bail, and government have not listened to them. But if they do that this time, it's going to be a kudos to them. But if they do not do that, I will not be surprised.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Jerry. It's always a pleasure
Thank you
having
very
you.
much. Thank you very
Yes.
much.
The Constitution says that an individual rights is limited to where the rights of the majority of the people is concerned. Today, El Zazaki is still in detention, but on August 5th, we will know if his application to be granted bail to be flown abroad for treatment will be granted. Leave your comments in the comment section and we shall advance our conversation from there. It's Crucial Matters on Crucial TV. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.